Somewhere in the last 10 years, somebody convinced the most authentic, serious musicians alive that they had to become content creators. And I think that's the biggest mistake that we've ever made as artists. I've been guilty of it too, and I've been thinking about how to quit. What's happening in the music industry right now, and I'm not complaining. I think complaining is becoming the problem. I think it's counterproductive to figuring out how to navigate all this, but I'll get to that. Precision matters here. Today's digital ecosystem kind of requires musicians to act like content creators or influencers. Daily output, hyper digestible content. It's like you're working on an assembly line. Face to the camera, acting like slimy salespeople, coming to you from the back alleys with how-tos and win a new guitar. It's kind of weird. It's not what we grew up doing. And for artists in heavy metal, underground rock, industrial, dark music, goth, any genre that was built on a certain kind of authenticity and mystery, this is more than just uncomfortable. It's a contradiction to everything that we ever stood for. However, the reality of this is that younger audiences listen with their eyes first on social media. So if you don't give people a visual gateway, they're not going to find your new music. It's not because people don't care about the music anymore. They really do. It's because of the nature and the architecture of discovery. And yeah, I'm talking about algorithms. It's changed the way people find music. So, sell out your mystique or don't engage and disappear completely from social media. Right? That's your choice? Wrong. That's a false choice. Let's talk about why. So, what we're dealing with here, every social media platform runs on one objective: to keep you on there as long as possible. Not particularly happy, not inspired, just there, scrolling, reacting. The algorithm will not show you what you say or claim that you want to see. It shows you what you're reacting to. That's not the same thing. Algorithms have become more complex, and now they know how to measure behavior. There are retina tracking systems that businesses buy today to track how long you look at something, where your eyes land on that particular picture. That's not an exaggeration. That's what's happening now. No lie. So in addition to measuring engagement, something is out there measuring your eyeballs and the eyeballs of your audience. If you spend too much time engaging with content or looking at content that makes you feel anxious or stressed or angry, that's what it's going to show you more of, because your behavior told it what you're consuming. External links are penalized. The words follow me or buy or link in bio, I'm going to have to stop using that one. Anything that leads your fans somewhere else is purposely being suppressed. The entire structure of an algorithm is designed to make sure nothing that you post can become a bridge to another place. Nowhere outside their platform. Your music, your art, your life's work, reduced to a retention mechanism for somebody else's goals. This is math in service of a business model that has nothing to do with you, nothing to do with your creative life, what builds your connections with the people who love your art and your attitude. So now we know what we're dealing with. The next question is, what do you do about it? You know, the underground of music didn't build itself on being accessible. If you're anywhere near my age, remember back in the days when you went to concerts and people were handing out flyers, actively engaging in the field, trying to get people to come to their next show, discovering new music in old vinyl stores, going to after parties after concerts, and running into people on the 3 a.m. train in the city who ended up at some point becoming a legend in metal. Maybe you got invited to a party. That's how you met people. That's how you discovered the newer music. It was all below the radar. You got out, you had fun. That was our world, and it was a ball. It built itself on the thrill of discovery. We were explorers. You got your new music through whispered recommendations, people's basement parties, tailgate parties, a flyer on a telephone pole you walked past and found out somebody was playing in some little dive bar on your street. The handshake between artist and audience was earned back then. It wasn't just served out like a Popeye's apple crispy pie on sale. Rock, metal, goth, industrial. These scenes and lifestyles were never really designed to meet you where you are. They were designed to pull you into something deeper. And what the algorithm demands is the complete opposite of that. Immediate, accessible, and constantly available. No mystery. The mystery's gone. And so, reasonably, most independent, talented artists are treating social media like it must be the plague, either ignoring it completely or posting with such obvious reluctance that their audience can feel and see their awkwardness, their discomfort, and how uncomfortable you are is how your fans are going to feel too. This kind of thing loses people. Which brings me to the most important distinction that I finally figured out. There's this big difference between ghosting social media on purpose and being invisible because you refused to claim your space. Historically, artists who have cultivated real mystery were never actually absent from public life. They were present, but on their own terms, the way they wanted to be. Does anybody remember when Prince started calling himself the artist formerly known as Prince? He was protesting Warner Brothers. If you don't know about that, you should look it up. It's interesting. It was ballsy at the time. He became one of the first artists in mainstream to start presenting himself as independent. These artists all understood, and still do, that mystique is not silence. It's the precise, intentional control of what you want to reveal and what you want to keep to yourself. When you hide from the digital landscape out of pure bitterness, you're not actually defeating the machine. You could be allowing it to win by default. You're giving up your chair to the shallow, to the one who shouts the loudest. True rebellion in a hyper-connected world should not look like logging off and complaining. It should look like rising above the noise on your own terms, treating the platforms as nothing more than a passing reflection, something that's just going to capture somebody's eyes for a second, while the true substance of what you're doing stays in the kingdom of your own design. The tech industry does control these platforms, yes. They are rented, but they can't control the frequency of human expression and emotion. You can. So social media is nothing but a tool, a medium. The connection is spiritual, and that can be designed by you. Now I want to talk about something that might be a little stingy. I'll try to be careful. I understand why a lot of artists spend their time and energy complaining about social media. Their feelings and what they're saying is perfectly legit. The landscape is terribly unfair. It's so super saturated, and it's changing faster than any of us can keep up with. But bitterness kills you. It takes away this art and this style and this world that you've been building all your life. When an artist with decades of experience, real depth, and serious craft reduces their voice to either complaining about reach metrics and tech bros or completely disappearing and totally ignoring their social media audience. It takes somebody who should be perceived as a visionary and shrinks them down to the angry guy yelling at a cloud. It breaks everything. Guess what? Gen Z is experiencing massive algorithmic fatigue. They use AI more than any generation before them, and they're also its hardest critics. They actually romanticize the analog world. They're actively seeking out curated, human-driven, deeply aesthetic experiences, the things that you love. As older and more established artists, you got the same desires here. They don't need a musician to tell them how broken the internet is. They already know. What they're looking for is an escape from it. We could be providing that, but instead they're finding rants all over YouTube and Instagram and TikTok about how social media is destroying our music industry. Stop beating a dead horse. If you've navigated the music industry for this long, with your integrity intact, that's not a burden. That's a superpower. Use it like one. You're the real deal. You've known what to do all your life. So we're going to think practical reframing right now. It'll start making things feel a lot simpler, hopefully. Stop thinking about social media as a marketing channel. Marketing is transactional. It asks something of your audience before that's been earned. Mainstream marketing and content creation are for businesses that have nothing to do with entertainment. It's for selling houses or cars or watches. You don't sell real emotion that way, and music is pure emotion. There's a special place music artists get to sit in and enjoy that other business professionals don't. You actually get to mix business with pleasure. And that's a rare, beautiful thing that people in other industries don't get to play around with. You get to build worlds. And it's so different from all of this. It's an extension of yourself, of your own universe that you've already been living in all your life. You've built it over the years, and now you can make it a little more visible through whatever medium you have available, and that can be social media. You've been doing this all your life. It's in the way that you design your space around you. It's in what your room looks like, the objects that you keep around you and the ones you refuse to buy or own. The music that fills the room before anybody gets there, what you play in your car, the incense you've had burning in the background. It's where you choose to go. It's in the way you move when you walk down the street. That is your world, and you can let it reflect through a social media platform. The platforms are just the newest surface for the things that you've already been doing. Think about a track with the grit of an old rock anthem. That track doesn't need a vlog explaining the recording process. That destroys the mystery. All it needs is a 15-second visual loop. You don't have to say anything. A lone motorcycle racing through the night, weathered hands on a guitar neck in the rain, a single candle burning against a gravestone. Something that establishes an aesthetic mood before the listener hits play. So when they're ready to, they're already inside your world. You really don't have to say a word on social reels. Just throw that phone somewhere and let it pick up the visuals. You're not a content creator begging for streams. You're an art director expanding the borders of a sonic and an aesthetic universe that you've been living in all your life. Treat the platforms like a digital museum. Every image, every clip, every caption, serving the vibe that you've been living all your life. The platform is just a doorway. Your world is behind it. Build the door. Let them walk through. Keep it genuine, passive. Let go of the stress. The cynical veteran complains about the rules of a game they never wanted to play. The visionary ignores the rules and builds their own board. You've spent your entire creative life constructing something that's very real to you and real to the people who love what you do. Something with some real weight. So don't let the changes in the world that you see make you disappear and play dead. You're definitely not dead. You have a need to create and keep your flag planted in this world. I do. It's a natural desire. I can't not do it. That's something inherent in us that's never going to go away. The question to carry back to your studio is this. Are we going to grow old and cynical and act like victims of an algorithm and a new world that's moving too fast? Or are we going to move through it all with our heads held high like we've always done and build our worlds regardless? I know I ain't ready to lay down and die,